Hare Krishna everyone. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Welcome to SCON Oakville Sunday Love Feast program. My name is Sagar. I will be the mic coordinator today. So far we have offered our prayers to Srila Prabhupada by performing Guru Aarti, which was sung by Ram. Then followed by Gaura Aarti, which was sung by Kashyapuni Prabhuji. And then followed by Narsimha Aarti, which was sung by a very beautiful voice, our little devotee, Sai Yashasvi. Let's give a big round of applause to them. Also, Mrudanga was played by Ram, Arnav, and Kirtal was played by Shivansh and Devansh. Let's give another score. Yeah. Okay. So, just want to check if anyone came for the first time. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, are you okay to give a small introduction? Okay. Just your name and how you came to know.
Vijayalakshmi. My name is Vijayalakshmi and I'm from Wellington. First time. I got a flyer from my husband and I just texted. Thank you.
Welcome, Mataji. Thank you. So today we have a small change in the program. We will not have the shloka recitation. We will have Damodar Ashtakam towards the end. Before we move to the next segment, I will share a small pastime, I will say from Lilamrit, Prabhupada's Lilamrit. So it's about a story, Mahabharata. I think most of we have seen the Mahabharata. So towards the end of Mahabharata, we know that when Vidura came back to again give good advice to Dhritarashtra, who was still living with Pandavas in the palace after the war, all his son was killed. It was like an enemy, like they were enemy, but still he was living there. So Vidura came to give him a good advice to go leave the palace. And this was actually not the first time someone gave good advice to Dhritarashtra. In past also Bhishma gave good advice, Vidura gave many times, Akrura gave, even the Sri Krishna himself gave good advice. Even when Sri Krishna gave him good advice, Dhritarashtra said to Sri Krishna, he said that, my dear Krishna, when you are giving me wisdom, your words are like lightning, like thunderbolt. It's very enlightening for me. And when I hear those words, I feel like doing that. But very next moment, darkness covers me again, right? So when I hear that, like I personally felt it's story of me, and many of one can connect. And same Srila Prabhupada says that blindness, darkness is not just physical of eyes. It's mada, moha, lobh, moha. Like for kids who don't know Hindi, these words, anger, lust, desire, right? So these all things blinds us. And many times when we hear lecture, during hearing lecture, when we hear the wisdom from Prabhujis and Maharaj, like we feel to do that, right? But very next moment somehow we go back to our material world, right? But Vidura, being a Vaishnava, he kept coming back and trying to give good advice, good wisdom to Dhritarashtra. And same Prabhupada says that we all are Vaishnava, our Vaishnavas. We try to keep convincing people to follow Krishna consciousness, surrender to Krishna, do chanting, come to temple. Right? We don't surrender. We are Prabhupada's army who are here to help mankind in this Kali Yuga. Bolo Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you. Sunday school kids, I think we can go to the next room. Our next program is Vedic Disclosure. Our topic is Glories of Tulsi Maharani. Today we are blessed with presence of His Grace Rupanuga Prabhuji. I will share a small introduction of Prabhuji. After completing his BSc from Lucknow University at age of 16 and BTech from IIT Kanpur, Rupanuga Prabhuji, his name is Ravi Singh, came to Canada in 1969. on a Canadian scholarship to do his master's in electrical engineering. He was managing director and country manager for GE Capital and later joined IBM as a director. In his professional career, he has managed service delivery of almost $1 billion per year. He retired from IBM in 2013. Rupanuga Prabhu is a third generation Vaishnava devotee who has with ISKCON Toronto since 1981. He was a temple council member for ISKCON Toronto for 20 years and a member of the board of directors. He continued to advise the current temple council in Toronto and Vancouver. He is currently active in outreach activities through his classes, seminars, workshops conducted in various cities across Canada and USA. He is a mentor to many devotees across the country and also a pujari at ISKCON Toronto Temple. Let's chant 3 times Hari Bol and welcome His Grace Rupanuga Prabhuji. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Still unorganized. All over the place.
You can start the prayer. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी के नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय 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 ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरे कृष्ण। So welcome to you all to the Sunday Feast program here at ISKCON Oakville. I see some familiar faces, that's nice. And so the topic today, as was announced, is the glories of Srimati Tulsi Maharani. And everybody has heard of and seen Tulsi Maharani, or something new to somebody, anybody here? Okay. So if you look at the different Puranas, especially Brahma Vaivarta Purana, there are some stories about Tulsi Maharani that get into cursing and counter-cursing and how she became a plant and the demon and Shaligram and lots of complicated stories. Because they're in the Puran, especially Brahma Vaivarta Purana is very, very not just famous, but very elevated philosophy in there. Obviously, all that is true. But in our Gauriya Sampradaya, our acharyas have not emphasized that aspect of her life and pastimes. We look at the 6 Goswamis, Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, etc. They don't talk about that aspect of the pastimes of Tulsi Maharani. Where they start is that Tulsi Maharani, also known as Vrinda Devi. Anybody heard the name Vrinda Devi? Yes? Okay. So Vrinda Devi is one of the most intimate friends, Sakhis, for Radharani. Her father, Chandrabhanu, her mother, Pulla Devi, are very prominent in some of the scriptures. And she had a very specific role in the spiritual world in Golokunda. And that was to arrange the various pastimes between Radharani and Krishna. So when Krishna decided that it was time to come to the material world, to descend to the material world, he asked Radharani to come with him. And Radharani said, no, material world is not a nice place. I'm not going. And he said, if you don't go, I'm not going. But I have to go, so therefore you have to come. And she said, okay, fine, but I have some conditions. And she put conditions like Yamuna must be there. Just on a very side note, does anybody know how Yamuna manifested? Anybody knows? Okay, so let me tell you, very simple, very quick pastime. You know, the Ras Leela happens in Golok Vrindavan all the time. So one time, Ras Leela was going on. And you also know that there's no influence of time in spiritual world. So the seasons are there, night and day is there, afternoon is there, all that is there, but they all appear based upon the desire of Krishna. So it is possible that right now is summertime, and 2 hours later Krishna says, no, enough, now I want winter. And then 2 hours later it's winter time. So you don't have to wait 2 months, 3 months for seasons change. Similarly, day and night, same thing. Right now it's daytime, and then 2 minutes later it says, time for evening stroll. Suddenly it's evening. So similarly, that Ras Leela was going on, suddenly Krishna said, I want summer. So suddenly it was hot sun out and summertime. So now everybody's dancing and is sweating. So that sweat collected in a pond. That pond with which fluid flowed into the material world is known as Yamuna. So this is the sweat of the gopis and Krishna as they were lovingly dancing together. That's why it represents so much love between the gopis and the Sakhis and Lord Krishna. So anyway, so Radharani said, I want Yamuna to be there. Second thing, I want Govardhan to be there. And I'm digressing a little bit, I just want to give you the background. So Govardhan also same thing. One time, Radha and Krishna sitting together, and Radharani asked Krishna, so how much do you love the gopis? And he said, this much. Sorry, Gopas. And he said, this much. And then she said, how much do you love the gopis? He said, that much. And then she said, how much do you love me? And well, this is not enough. So he manifested a mountain from his heart, 800 miles in diameter, 800,000 miles in circumference, and 800 miles high. That is Govardhan. So that Govardhan, she said, I want that Govardhan. So that manifested also, not the same size, but in the material world. And then she said, I want all my Sakhis and your Sakhas to be also present. And I want Vrindavan to be present. So Krishna said yes to all that. So that's how they all came. And that's how Vrinda Devi, the intimate Sakhi of Radharani, also appeared. And she maintained her same role, which was to facilitate the meetings between Radharani and Krishna. So there's one other personality that I'm sure you know about, is Purnamasi. Who's Purnamasi? Anybody? Okay, so Purnamasi is Yogamaya. And in that Leela, she's the mother of a very famous person, Sandipani Muni. Sandipani Muni is the person Krishna went to learn, to study, right? And his grandson, her grandson was Madhumangal, which is a very famous character in Krishna pastimes. Anyway, so that's the background. So Purnamasi was the elderly lady, and Vrinda Devi worked with her to facilitate all the pastimes between Radha and Krishna. So basically what used to happen was after Radharani got married, where did she live? After marriage. Like before marriage was Barsana.
Yeah.
Yavat, yes. Yavat. And where did Krishna live? No. After that. So Gokul, then Vrindavan, and then?
Mathura.
No. No. It's still in Brij-Dham. Nandagaon, yes. So Nandagaon, that's where the big building is, even today is, right? Nandishwar is there and all that. So now, Yavat is on one side, Nandagaon is on the other side. And you actually, anybody been to Yavat? No? If you go there, you see that in that temple there's a terrace. And from terrace you can see the building, the house of Krishna in Nandagaon. So Radharani would actually sit there every evening looking at that house, just in case she can get a glimpse of Krishna. Anyway, and then you know that every morning Radharani was supposed to go to Nandagaon, to Krishna's house, to cook for Krishna. Because she had the blessings of Durvasa Muni, that whoever honors the prasadam cooked by her will have a long, healthy life. So Mother Yashoda said, I want my son to have long, healthy life. Therefore, please, what's the name of Radha's mother? No, Radha's mother. Kirtida. Kirtida, he said, please send your daughter Radha to my house every morning to cook for Krishna. So she was coming every morning to cook breakfast for Krishna. So after breakfast, she will leave to go back to Yavat. And Krishna and Balaram with their friends will go to different places to take care of the calves and then later on cows. Okay? So, but they left almost at the same time and they will meet right in the middle of Yavat and Nandagaon. That's a very famous place called Vrindakund. Anybody been there? Okay, also at least few people. So, Vrindakund is where they met. Behind Vrindakund is another kund called Gupta Kund. Gupta means? Secret, exactly. Secret. So it was basically a secret meeting place for Radha and Krishna. It's early in the morning. So what do you think they did when they met? They made the plan for the rest of the day. So it's called Ashtakalin Leela. Asht means 8. Kal means time, but it basically means 3 hours. So 8 times 3 is 24, that's the whole day. So that's the whole day planned at that time. Now there will be 2 more participants in that meeting. Can you guess who they would be? No, they were not there. Vrinda Devi and Purnamasi. Why? Because it will be them planning the rest of the day. So with the help of Purnamasi, Vrinda Devi will manage all this. But she was the best micromanager you can imagine. Like typically we think of micromanagers being not so good. But she was an amazing micromanager. So let me tell you the details she managed. So depending upon the type of pastimes they wanted to have together, she will decide which forest they'll go to. Now how many forests are there? 12. Dwadashkala. Right? And then they decide what kind of trees are growing there, what kind of flowers are growing there, what kind of bees are going to hum, and what kind of color of the flowers will be there, and what kind of breeze would be blowing. Now do you know there are 3 kinds of breeze? In Hindi it's called Sheetal. I'll translate this. Sheetal, Mand, Sugandhit, which means cool breeze, slow breeze, and fragrant breeze. So those are 3 kinds of breezes. So she'll decide which is suitable for that particular occasion depending upon the mood of Radharani and Krishna. Okay, I'm slowly coming to how much micromanagement is going on there. So now she's taking care of the environment, the kind of breeze, the kind of trees, the kind of flowers, the kind of fragrance, and what kind of bushes, what kind of lakes would appear, all that she's managed for 8 times a day. Okay? Then she'll say, okay, what kind of music are we going to have? So she'll decide what instruments are going to be played. And then which gopi or gopa is the best player of that instrument, they'll be appointed. Then it would be, she had a storeroom in every kunja, in every forest of Vrindavan, or Braj you could say. And there were different kinds of clothes, different kinds of ornaments. Did you know that every time Radharani met Krishna, she will wear 64 different ornaments? 64 different ornaments. And let me also ask you, why so many? Any thoughts on that? Well, let me ask you a different question. Why do women in general wear ornaments? In general. To enhance their natural beauty. Would you agree with that? Why does Krishna wear ornaments? Or what happens when Krishna wears ornaments? The ornaments look more beautiful when he's wearing them than before. Okay, come to Radharani. Why does Radharani work? To hide her beauty. Hide her beauty. Why? Because every time Krishna sees her complete natural beauty, he just faints. So to make sure he doesn't faint, she wears all these ornaments, so at least he'll be, conscious and spends, good time with her. So anyway, so all those kinds of ornaments, what color of clothes are they going to wear? They're all there in the storerooms. So they separate storerooms in every kunja, in every forest of Vrindavan. And Mother Devi has the key. So you can imagine how many keys she had as she's walking around, tucked in her sari. Anyway, so she'll do all that. And then she'll decide what music is going to be played. So I already talked about the instruments, but also what rag. Everybody understands rag, right? In classical music, what kind of rag is going to be. Anyway, my point is all those details will be taken care of. And then she will decide what kind of prasadam is going to be served. So who's going to cook that? How many items are going to be? All that will be decided. And then she'll give chamar to one sakhi, a fan to another sakhi. Then she'll give another sakhi responsibility to make the flower bed. I mean, anything you can imagine that Radha Krishna would need, Vrinda Devi would do that. That was her role. Okay? And she would do all this under the directions of Purnamasa, who was the leader of Vrindavan. Everybody went to her for any problems, any consultation, it was to Purnamasi. And Vrinda Devi would be working directly under her direction. Okay. So, once Radha and Krishna will meet, then it will be time to go to the another place, and then Vrinda Devi again will arrange all that. But at night, in the early morning, so this is the last pastime of the night, early morning, if they're sleeping, it was her role to wake them up. I said, rush home, because before your parents or parents-in-law wake up, you better be home in bed. So she'll wake them up and rush them home so that they don't get caught not being home or caught being together. And talking about being together, she had two parrots and they were the spies. Who were they spying on? Any guesses? Who were they spying on? Two people who caused problems for Radha and Krishna, trying to ensure they don't meet, or if they meet, they get caught together. You don't know those two people? They're known as Jatila and Kuttila. Mother-in-law and sister-in-law. Their whole role in life was to make sure they don't meet, or to catch them if they're meeting together, so they can tell everybody. So she had these two parrots who will tell them, Jatila is coming or Kuttila is coming, so hide. And there are many, many pastimes, which are out of context, so I won't tell you about this today. But there are many, many pastimes where they tried to catch Radha and Krishna together, but they couldn't, and they were fooled by both Radha and Krishna together. Those of you who have been to the Yavat temple probably remember this set of deities on the right side of the Radha Kant. Krishna is in the form of Kali Mata, with his tongue hanging out, and Radha is there. The pastime there is that one time somehow the parents were not able to inform in time, and Kuttila, the sister, is almost at the door of the kunja. And Radharani said to Krishna, what do I do? What do I do now? I'm going to get caught. And he said, sit down, kneel, as if you're praying. She said, why are you joking? We're going to run from here. We're going to get caught. She said, sit down, kneel, like you're praying. And Radha said again, very irritated, Krishna, why are you always joking? We have to run away from here. We're going to get caught. So tell us how to run from here. Where do we go? Krishna said, kneel down, look like you're praying. So I said, fine. So knelt down, looked like she was praying. Good luck came in. What did she see? Radharani is kneeling down, praying to Kali Mata. So Krishna had taken the form of Kali Mata. So the Kula said, oh, this is wonderful. She's here to pray to Kali Mata, and why was I suspecting her? Anyway, so that deity is there. So if you go to the next time to Yawar, if you've not been there already, you should make sure that you see that. Anyway, I had some notes also to make sure that I don't forget some of the more important points. Let's see. Yeah. In her expansion as Tulsi Maharani, where do you normally find Tulsi Maharani in terms of Krishna's deities? Where do you normally find? Feet, lotus feet of Krishna. Now, if you look at the pictures of Lakshmi Narayana or Lakshmi Vishnu, where is Lakshmi ji? No, in the picture, yeah, the picture massaging is, so she's also at his feet. But Lakshmi is also known as Chanchala. What does Chanchala mean? Yeah, goes away, here and there, walking around, right? Especially to her devotees, she goes alone. So the point is, every once in a while, she leaves the lotus feet of the Lord and goes away to help or award or reward the devotees of her. But Tulsi Maharani never leaves the lotus feet of Krishna. So Lord Krishna has soft heart for Tulsi Maharani, and that makes Lakshmi ji actually envious of Tulsi Maharani. That why does my Lord love her more than he loves me? So just a transcendental envy or transcendental fight between the two of them. Okay. Yes. Excuse me. Okay. So let's then talk about. On Friday, you're celebrating a very special occasion, right? Anybody knows what we're celebrating this Friday? Tulsi Viva. So let's talk about how that came about. Radharani was so pleased with all the services that Tulsi Vrinda Devi was performing for them that she decided once to reward. So one day they were all there together in one of the kunjas and they're swinging from different swings. And Radharani invited Vrinda Devi to sit on one of the swings. And she made 2 garlands. Radharani herself made 2 garlands. Gave one to Lalita and gave other to Vishakha. And then invited Krishna to sit on the swing that Vrinda Devi was sitting. So Krishna said, what's going on? I mean, why are you doing this? And Radharani said, just listen to me, do what I'm telling you like you're supposed to, and sit on the swing. So Krishna said, okay, fine. He sat down. As soon as he sat down, now this is Vrinda Devi and Krishna on the same swing. So at the indication of Radharani, Lalita Devi gave the garland to Vrinda Devi, Vishakha gave the garland to Krishna. And Radha said, exchange. So Vrinda Devi put the garland on Krishna, Krishna put the garland on Vrinda Devi, and that was the marriage between Vrinda Devi and Krishna. And that's the celebration we're going to have on this Friday. Of course, there's another version that Tulsi Saligram Viva. So again, as I said before, we are not emphasizing that. We are emphasizing more Vrinda Devi as the friend of Radharani and servant of Radha and Krishna in doing the passage. And this particular marriage is what we celebrate on Friday. If there are any questions, just by all means feel free to interrupt and ask.
Why did
Why did Radharani do that?
Why did it's a reward for the service.
Oh.
So, by the way, Radharani will often encourage Lalita Sakhi, Vishakha Sakhi to spend time with Krishna. So, there was no envy in Radharani. What was Radharani's sole purpose for living? Anybody?
So, to keep Krishna happy.
To keep Krishna happy. So, whatever makes Krishna happy is right? So, if Krishna is happy because now he can spend some time with Lalita Sakhi or Vishakha Sakhi, Radharani is more than happy. And sometimes we hear about the stories of, oh, Radharani was so jealous of Chandravali, right? Not true. True and not true, let me say differently. True in that, yes, Radharani was envious. Not true in the sense that she was not envious for her sake. But she was envious because Krishna, when he realized Radharani is feeling envious, he would appease her. And appeasing Radharani will please Krishna, and therefore Radharani got. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or is it too complicated? Krishna enjoyed appeasing Radharani. Are maan jao, don't be angry, gussa mat ho, those kind of things. Krishna enjoyed that. So to let Krishna enjoy that, Radharani will get angry or envious. So there's no real envy. Is everybody with me or am I losing you? Yeah? So again, the point is whatever she did, sometimes she will chastise him. But again, because Krishna says, I enjoy Radharani's chastisement more than any Vedic hymn you can imagine. So all the hymns from Vedas and all that, you can do all that you want. Doesn't please Krishna 1% of what pleases as much as chastisement by Radha. So knowing that Radharani will act in certain ways, which to you and I would seem like, why is she doing that? But again, the purpose always was because it pleases Krishna. She'll cry again because Krishna just loves to manav her, to appease her. So she said, okay, then I'll do that. So whatever it took. So hence same thing. Okay? Now, there's another time Radharani pretended to not know how to get Krishna. So she asked one of her friends, her name was Chandranan. This is from Garg Samhita, by the way, just so in case. She said, how do I please Krishna? How do I serve Krishna in the best way? So she said, I've heard from Garg Muni, and then it got written back in Garg Samhita, how to do that. She said, you worship Tulsi Mara. In what ways? And I wrote it down. We worship Tulsi Mara by gazing at her, touching her, remembering her, glorifying her, bowing down up before her, offering prayers to her, planting her, watering her, and worshipping. So 9 different ways of worshipping Tulsi Mara. Right? So I'm sure you've done it, most of you have done it one time or the other. But at the very least, gazing at her, touching her, worshipping her, watering her, those are easy things to do. We can all do that, and hopefully we're doing that at home or here every day. Anyway, so Radharani took the advice and she started doing that. For 9 months, she did that. And she did the Deep Dan also, and worshipping Tulsi Maharani. And at the end of 9 months, Krishna actually manifested his love for Radharani in a very special way. And Radharani said, yeah, thank you very much for the advice, Chandranan Sakhi, that worshipping Tulsi got me love of Krishna. Right? What's the prayer we do for Tulsi Maharani? Namo Namo Tulsi Krishna Prayasi, right? Krishna Prayasi Radha Krishna Seva Papu E Abhilashi. If I worship you, I'll get the opportunity to serve Radha and Krishna. What's the next line? So if she shows her mercy, we can actually go to Vrindavan. Without her mercy, we cannot go. So there are multiple people whose mercy is required for us to be able to go to Vrindavan. Who are some of those personalities? Vrinda Devi you talked about. Who else? Radharani, of course. Who else? Yamuna Devi, Giriraj, and the devotees. We need those 5 people's personalities' mercy just to be able to go to Vrindavan. Without that, we cannot go. So Tulsi Maharani is one of them. So let's talk a little bit more about the importance of serving Tulsi Maharani and some of the examples of personalities who served Tulsi Maharani and what happened. So one person who should come to our mind is Advaita Acharya. Right? Who's Advaita Acharya, by the way? True, but who is he?
Shivji Shri.
Okay, and
Shiva.
and so Mahavishnu and Sadashiv, not Shiva. Difference. Because Shiva is different tattva. Sadashiva is Vishnu tattva. That glance that Mahavishnu does, that manifests as Mahavishnu, as Sadashiva. And this is a longer story. So anyway, so the combination of Sadashiv and Mahavishnu is Advaita Acharya. So Vishnu tattva. That is known as Bhakta Avatar. Right? The Panch tattva is known as Bhakta Avatar. It's an incarnation. When he appeared in Shantipur, in West Bengal, he realized that people were religious, but they were more into karmakandi or just studying the Vedas, dry gyan, etc. And they were a lot into show-offs. Now, show-off in the sense, for example, somebody will get their daughter married and spend lots of money just to show the neighbors, look how much money I have to spend on my daughter's wedding. And the neighbor, when their daughter or son got married, they spent even more money. And that competition was continuously going on. And it became so bad that some people who did not have children, they'll get their dogs married and spend the same kind of money. So Advaita just said, this is nonsense, what's going on? I need these people to perform pure devotional service. They are not devotees, and those who are, they're not pure devotees. I need to do that, but I cannot do this alone. Therefore, I need Krishna to come down. So what did he do? Anybody knows? What did he do? To whom? Yes, to Nrsimha Saranam, right? And he read one mantra from a scripture called Gautamiya Tattva. And he says, Tulasi dal matrena jalasya chulukenava vikri nitam swamatmanam bhaktaya bhakta vachala. What that means is that if anyone offers a little bit of Gangajal, the water from the Ganges, and one leaf of Tulsi, or Lord Nrsimhadev with love, Krishna says, to that person I sell myself, like I become the servant, the slave of that person. And he says, that's how much he cares for the devotees. So if we want to buy Krishna, quote unquote, buy Krishna, all we have to do is offer Tulsi Maharani with Ganges water to Shalikam Shiva. And did Advaita Acharya succeed? Yes. Who came? How did Krishna come? That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? And it's none other than Krishna, combined form of Radha and Krishna. And he basically inundated the whole West Bengal area with love of Krishna. Simply from one person offering Tulsi Maharani, one Tulsi leaf with Ganges water to Shalikam. Okay, let's see what Krishna has to say about Tulsi Maharani. Is there any reference to Tulsi Maharani in Bhagavad Gita?
No.
Huh?
Yes. Offer me the leaf.
What's the words?
Pushpam phalam.
Ah, exactly. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prajayate. Right? Anybody who offers me a fruit, some water, and one leaf. He didn't say many leaves, one leaf with some devotional service. I accept that because being offered with bhakti. So therefore Krishna is saying Tulsi is so important that you don't have to make 56 varieties of bhoga for me. You don't have to have an opulent arrangement for me. Just one Tulsi is enough, and I'll accept that and I'll grant devotional service to that person who's doing that. That's how important Tulsi is to Krishna. Let's take another example. One time, there was some ceremony going on where Krishna was the queens of Krishna in Dwarka was supposed to donate gold and jewelry worth the weight of Krishna. So Krishna sat on the scale on one side, and they're putting all the jewelry they had, the 16,100 wives, were putting all the jewelry on the other side. But Krishna's side was still heavy. They ran out of all the jewelry, all the gold they had, and Krishna's side is still heavy. So they were saying, what to do now? So Narad Muni came. And they said, we got everything and still not as heavy as Krishna. What do we do? What do you think Narad Muni suggested? Put one tulsi leaf, one tulsi on the other side. As soon as they did that, balanced. That's the weight that Krishna gives to Tulsi Maharani. Right? There are many, many stories like that where Krishna is showing the importance of Tulsi Maharani and the serving of Tulsi Maharani herself. There's another story about Haridas Thakur. Who was Haridas Thakur?
Namacharya.
Namacharya Haridas Thakur. And how many rounds was he chanting?
190.
192 rounds, yes, exactly. 300,000 names, right? And how many do we chant? 16 rounds, right? With some difficulty sometimes. And so 16 times 12 is 192, right? So, but this, so like a sort of is 192, right? So that was 2 times 12. We take 2 hours chant 12, 16 rounds. 2 times 12 is how many? 24 hours. So 24 hours a day is chanting. So you can say that, okay, it was a little faster sometimes, so a little less than that, but 22 hours a day anyway, was chanting 2 hours for all other activities. So there was a man at that time, his name was Ramchandra Khan. He became very envious of the good reputation that Haridas Thakur had developed. So he decided that he's going to pull him down, which is normal in the material world. Somebody does well, other people get envious and they try to pull them down. As opposed to raising themselves, they try to pull them. So this Ramchandra Khan hired a very beautiful prostitute and said, you go there and contaminate the mind of Haridas Thakur, who was a very young man at that time. So she came and was trying every which way you can imagine a prostitute will try to attract a young man. But Haridas Thakur kept saying, you just sit here, wait for me to finish my rounds. Well, the rounds never finished, 24 hours are gone. So 3 days and 3 nights she sat there, trying to get the attention of Haridas Thakur. But he simply sat in front of Tulsi plant and chanted with his eyes closed. 3 days, 3 nights in a row. At the end of that, the prostitute's heart transformed. She surrendered to Haridas Thakur and said, I was sent by this man who's envious of you. I'm very sorry. Can you please make me a disciple? And he said, I can. But the first thing you do is you go home and throw everything that you have, all possessions you have, including the jewelry, gold, etc., in Ganges. You come back and a simple sorry, Anna. So she did that. She came back and he initiated her. Her new name became Haridasi. Does anybody know what her name was before? Lakshahira. So Lakshahira became Haridasi. And then she started, and he left the hut where he was and went somewhere else. Anyway, so then from then on, she'd sit in front of Tulsi Maharani and chant her 190 rounds every day. At the end of the month, all the villagers came. They started circumambulating the hut that she was sitting in, and they declared that from this day on, if anyone calls her a prostitute, we'll throw him out of the village. So they all became extremely respectful to her, honoring her ability to chant those rounds, and of course the mercy of Tulsi Maharani that she was receiving. So my point is that those are some of the glories of Srimati Radharani and the importance that she has in our life as a devotee. There's a quote here from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, who's the spiritual master of Prabhupada. He said, Srimati Tulsi Maharani is our spiritual master. She's the queen of Vrindavan Dham. It's only by her mercy that one can be qualified to enter Vrindavan Dham. So this is what I was talking about before. Now, he refers to Tulsi Kanti, which is very interesting. Everybody knows what Kanti is and why it's called Kanti? Because Kanti is, this Kanti, so around is Kanti. And then there's some lot of controversial things like 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. And the fact is that the scriptures don't say anything about that. But there are people, you ask different people, somebody say, if you're not initiated 1 round, if you're initiated 3 rounds, I'm not sure where that's coming from. The scriptures don't say anything. So basically, the number of rounds essentially imply the degree of your devotion. So if you initiated 3 rounds, but you're not limited to 3 rounds. Srila Bhakti Saraswati Maharaj used to wear 6 rounds. And his logic was, 6 countries, not 6 rounds, 6 countries. His logic was, in case one breaks, I still have the 5 more. So I'm never without country. And the logic of that was that it is written that Yamaraj will not come near a person who's wearing a country, or in his house, in whose house Tulsi Maharani is present, or at the time of death who's touching a plant of Tulsi Maharani. So actually there's a very famous story about that, true story. There was I still have time, right?
Yes.
Okay. There was a man living in Tulsi, in Vrindavan, a Muslim person. But on all parts of his body, he had a Tulsi country. So on his hands, on his arms, on his neck, on his waist, everywhere you can imagine, he had Tulsi. So somebody asked him, "Oh, what's this? First, you are a Muslim person. Second, why on all parts of your body you are wearing Tulsi? What's the reason?" So he told his story. He said, many years ago, one time I was just walking from my home someplace on the street, and I saw there's a bullock cart. Everybody knows bullock cart, right? Okay, bullock cart. And there were 2 men sitting on it. The bullock cart was being driven by 2 bulls. And so that's normal. You see this often. But he said, suddenly I saw 2 very fierce-looking men come, and they picked up the bullock cart and flung it in the air, and it fell. And then they started collecting the souls from the 2 bulls, and they would. So one man took the soul, they would the second man, and they stopped. So the second Yamduta asked, "Why did you stop? Take the soul." And he said, "I can't." He says, "Why not?" He says, "His hand is touching a Tulsi plant. Therefore, I cannot do that." So he said, "I heard that." And then I asked, "What's this?" And he said, the Yamduta said, "We're not allowed to touch anybody whose any part of the body is touching any part of Tulsi Maharani." So he said, from then on I decided that this is great. One way to avoid Yamaraj, and Yamdutas keep Tulsi country on. So this is why many of us who sometimes have to go for an operation or anything like that, we refuse to take the country out. Do whatever you want. And the doctors will tell you, there's a metal there, this will happen. But whatever, I'm not taking Tulsi country out. Just in case you screw up, Yamduta show up. So this way I know I'm safe. Right? So a lot of, I've done it myself, and I know a lot of devotees who've done it. No, country's not coming out. Take whatever else, out, but not country. You have heard of Madhu Pandit? Anybody knows Madhu? Madhu Pandit is the personality who worshipped Radha Gopinath. That time. So he had a vest made completely out of Tulsi beads. And if you go to Jaipur, anybody been to Jaipur? If you go to Radha Gopinath Mandir, that vest is still there. You can see it. Do you see it? Okay. And just right in front of the deities, the glass window, and behind that, you can see the dress. So again, he would wear this all the time. So same concept. Okay? You see. Yeah. When Lord Chaitanya would chant, his associates would put a Tulsi plant beside him. So it would always be chanting in front of Tulsi Maharani. And he said that just like a fish cannot live outside the water, I cannot live without the vicinity of Tulsi Maharani. He said, if wherever I am, Tulsi Maharani is not there, I will actually die. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying that. Yeah. If we sow a Tulsi plant, then guaranteed will become a Krishna devotee. Just from sowing it. And of course, then watering it, worshipping it, all aids in the improvement of a devotional service. It says there's no better recipient of charity than a Brahmin, no better gift than cows, no better tirtha than Ganga, and no better leaf than Tulsi leaf. So it's all being put on the same category of doing that. By offering the Lord Tulsi leaves, a devotee is released from sins accumulated from 10 million lifetimes. So in 10 million human births, whatever sins we have committed, you are all eradicated simply from once offering Tulsi leaf to the Lord. So if you've done this every day, I think you're very safe. Right? Yeah. If you are wearing a kanthi and you take a shower, it's like you're taking a bath in the holy river Ganges or any of the other tirthas. If you're wearing kanthi and you have food, let's call it food, not prasad, food, it automatically becomes prasad, even if it's not offered before. Right? And on the other hand, if somebody who's not wearing a kanthi and is having some food, it's like eating the vomit of a dog. So anybody who does not have kanthi, please consider getting one today. Even if you're not initiated, don't worry about it. Don't have to be initiated to wear kanthi. So, but please take this. There's so many advantages. When the spiritual master puts the neck bead on our neck, he automatically changes our tendency from enjoying to tendency of being enjoyed by Krishna. Okay, from bhog vritti to prasad vritti. Basically, that tendency to enjoy is lost by simply the spiritual master putting that kanthi on our neck beads. Okay. Anybody remember the time when Ras Leela was happening and Krishna and Radharani walked away? The gopis were looking for them. Anybody knows that story? Okay. Hopefully some of them know. If you don't know, just very quickly, the dancing was happening with 3 billion gopis with Radha and Krishna dancing together. And Radharani decided that she was not enjoying it because there were so many different types of gopis in different moods, so she disappeared. Krishna said, there will be 3 billion gopis or 300 billion gopis. If Radharani is not here, I cannot enjoy. So he also took off. So the gopis were dancing and thinking they're dancing with Krishna. Suddenly they realized there's no Radha, there's no Krishna. So they started looking for them. And they were going so desperate looking for them, they started enacting the different pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And then they started asking anything and everything that they saw and whether they had seen Krishna. So they'll ask the trees, they'll ask the animals, the lions, the tigers, the deers, ask everybody and everybody, the stones, and then finally they saw Tulsi Maharani, Tulsi plant. And they said, you are a female. So Tulsi Maharani, they said, you are a female. You understand the feelings of females. So you understand how much we are hurting right now. So please help us. Tell me you've seen Krishna go this way. So even the gopis were giving Tulsi Maharani so much importance. Okay. Remember the pastime of Govardhan Leela? Well, you said they did last week, right? So when the bhoga was being offered, there was lots and lots of bhoga. And Govardhan Hill became like a person, and he was 2 giant hands, he was eating with both hands. Right? He didn't know about the Therese manners, right? He was eating with both hands. And not just one bite at a time, it was like 100 puris time, or 2 kilograms of halwa at a time. They were all going in his mouth like this. He finished it. And then what did he say? It's all finished. What did Govardhan Hill say? Anayor! And this is more. So they brought more. He finished that and said, Anayor! So they brought more. He said, Anayor! They said, there's nothing left. They said, Krishna, what do we do now? There's nothing left. That cooked, uncooked is all gone. So what did Krishna say? You want to satisfy him? Offer him 1 leaf of tulsi. They gave 1 leaf of tulsi and he burped. Well, maybe not, but he was happy. And so my point again is, you want to satisfy Krishna? Offer it. And also we know that he will not accept any bhoga unless the tulsi leaf on them. Okay? And sometimes, it's just a side story. Sometimes there's fights between their lordships. So, anybody been to Mayapur? Nobody been to Mayapur? Okay. So there's a place near Mayapur called Rajapur. And the wonderful deities of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. And one day Lord Jagannath came to the dream of the Pujari, head Pujari, and said, from now on, I want you to offer 2 plates of bhoga. He's been offering 1 plate. So he said, why? He said, well, Govardhan Shila is there, and then the 3 of us are there, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. And he said, when you offer bhoga, by the time you read the mantras, Govardhan Shila eats everything already. So by the time you finish the mantras, there's nothing for us to eat. So please start bringing 2. So that was just one. And also in Jagannath Puri, the same thing happened. There was deities of Radhakant, Radhakant. And anybody been to Jagannath Puri? Yes, no? Okay, 1, 2, okay, 2, 3 people, okay. So there's a kitchen with 250 stores. Huge kitchen. And they bring bhoga from there to offer to that Jagannath Puri. How many times a day is it offered? Anybody knows? 56 times. So almost every 22 minutes, this new offering. And the story behind that, because the king of Odisha had asked for a benediction that, my dear Lord, when you when you have Prashad Bhoga, before you wash your hands and your hands are dry, I want you to start it again. So that's 22 minutes. So anyway, so they bring the bhoga in a yoke. It's like a big stick and then 2 things hanging from there, and the bhoga is on both sides, and kind of on the shoulder. So Lord Jagannath came to the temple, the dream of the head Pujari there again, and said, move the deities of Radhakant. So Pujari said, but that's you. I mean, Krishna and Jagannath same, so what's the difference? He said, no. You guys walk by the deities and they eat everything, so nothing comes to us. So remove the deities, so at least we can start getting prasadam. I'm just saying that, this transcendental fights even between the lords themselves, and somehow Tulsi Maharani is involved in those things. Okay. That's it. Oh yeah. A very famous person, I will tell you the name later on. When he was a child, very, very poor, but very wonderful devotee. So there was a Ram temple in his village. So he'd go there every day and worship and offer praise to Lord Ram. But he had no home to go to, so he would sleep outside. So one day suddenly it became very cold. But what can he do? So he was under a tree, lying down in fetal position basically, and shivering, but lying down trying to sleep. Lord Ram saw that. So he came and put his chadar on him and went back. In the morning, the pujaris came and noticed the chadar is missing. So I said, what happened? They came out and saw this boy sleeping with the chadar on. So they thought this boy got cold. He went in the temple, he stole the chadar from the Lord, and then fell asleep. So they started beating him up. And he kept saying, no, I'm very innocent, I didn't do anything like that. The Lord came and put the chadar. Nobody would believe him, obviously. So really beating him. Then one person came and said, okay, little boy, whatever, leave him alone. I'll take the responsibility. So he took him away to a different village and asked him what happened. And he said, I'm telling you honestly, the Lord came and put the chadar on. So he said, okay, I believe you. You stay here with me and you serve Tulsi Maharani. So for 20 years, this boy served Tulsi Maharani with great, great devotion. So he got the name Tulsidas. That Tulsidas is the one who wrote Ramcharitmanas. So it's again the blessings of Tulsi Maharani on Tulsidas, so that he became eligible and qualified to write Ramcharitmanas. Okay. Jagai and Madhai. Everybody knows the story of Jagai and Madhai, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. They were so sinful that jokingly people say that Chitragupta, who's Chitragupta? Anybody?
Shows us our life, how we experience.
Chitragupta gives account of our activities. So all the paps and punyas, and he had obviously many, many servants to do that same thing. Chitragupta was ready to resign from his position. He said, I cannot keep up with the sins these people commit. I don't have computers fast enough. I don't have enough people to record all the sins they committed. That's how sinful they were. But after Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda delivered them, they were given one task. Sorry, two tasks actually, to be honest with you. One was to stand by the banks of the river Ganges and apologize to everyone who came there. And second was to worship Tulsi Maharani. So worshipping Tulsi Maharani, they became Jagadanand and Madhavanand and became pure devotees of Krishna. So if they can become pure devotees by serving Tulsi Maharani, I think we have hope. Right? Do you agree? Or do you think I'm worse than them?
We can speak only for ourselves.
Okay. Another story I'm sure you know about Brigari.
Yes.
Yes? What's the story? Just quickly, 2 lines.
The Narad Muni.
Yes, yes. So, Brigari was a hunter who enjoyed half killing the animals. Not killing them fully, just half killed, half dead. So that would happen to be passing by, he saw these dozens and dozens of half dead animals writhing in pain. So he tried to find out who was that. He found this hunter and he said to the hunter, "Why are you half killing them? You have to kill them, kill them." And he said, "No, I really enjoy watching them suffer." So obviously Narad had to do something and he instructed him and he asked him to worship Tulsi Maharani. So he started worshipping Tulsi Maharani and chanting. And sometime later, Narad Muni, his friend Parvat Muni, decided to visit how this guy is doing. So they were both walking towards Mrigari, the hunter. And Parvat Muni noticed that he's walking funny. This hunter is walking funny. So he asked Narad Muni, "Why is this guy walking so funny?" And Narad Muni said, "He's watching the ground to make sure he does not step over an ant." So this is the one person who used to enjoy half killing animals. He's now wanting to make sure he does not step over an ant. That's a transformation from worshipping Tulsi Maharani. Okay. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Okay, then it goes on to say about many different scriptures talk about that. I think I should stop here. Is there any questions or comments that maybe I can answer?
Prabhu, what is the connection between Hare Krishna? So I heard that Vrunda Devi is an expansion of Radharani.
Correct.
Right? Like so, like is it? Yeah, I mean, so that's true, right? Like
Yes.
I mean, that's how it is. So, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, again, Brahma Vaivarta Puran talks about how Vrinda Devi was sent to the material world, took birth, and then there were some curses and counter curses involved, and Jalandhar and Shankachud, and then Lord Vishnu coming and doing things and got cursed to become a stone. All those stories. So again, that's where the connection that we're looking for, but we don't go into that. You stay in this side of it. This is more suitable for increasing our devotional service. So Gaudiya Acharyas, this doesn't go to that. And that's why we are missing the connection.
So, Prabhu, you mentioned that like it is like anyone who is touching Tulsi Maharani or wearing beads or touching the roots of Tulsi Maharani or any of those things. So what happens if the person's consciousness is not quite, like that, what that person is doing, or like his person is sinful or any of those things? So still it doesn't matter, or?
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And that's what that story I was telling about this Muslim guy. He saw these people. So yes, if you're touching any part of Tulsi at the moment of death, or this Tulsi beads on your neck or any part of your body, Yabdus are not going to come near you. That is correct. So no matter who you are.
Doesn't that kind of, defeats the purpose of, like people doing all the bhakti and everything throughout their life, but like if somebody is just, smart enough to touch the Tulsi, then...
Well, first of all, at the moment of death, you're not smart enough for anything. Let's face it. Right? It's not in your control. So that's the first point. Second point is, let's say that somebody is very, very sinful and happens to wear tulsi or happens to be near Tulsi Maharani, but all he's doing is escaping the claws of Yamdutas. He's not going to Golok Vrindavan, he's not going to Vaikuntha. He's still coming back here. He's not going to Yamlok. That's all. So if somebody wants to be happy with that, fine. But we don't want to be happy with that. Right? We have a different goal. Do you agree? Right? Am I making sense? Okay. Yes, there's a question from here, this side.
So I can ask like that. So how did Vrinda Devi do manifest as Tulsi plant?
Yes. So this is the story where there's a cursing and counter cursing going on. One story is that one time Vrinda Devi was dancing with Krishna, and somehow he touched her, she felt so much ecstasy, she fainted. And Radharani did not appreciate, she felt that there was something not quite legal going on, so he cursed her to become plant. So now, again, personally I don't like the stories of cursing and non-cursing, so I stay away from them. Because you asked, that's the story. But I can add that because of the expansion of Vrinda Devi's Tulsi Maharani, that whole forest is full of Tulsi plants, and hence is known as Vrindavan. Right? So, one means forest, that's Vrinda Devi, but the forest is Vrinda Devi. There's another meaning, Vrinda plus Avan. When there is a group of people, Avan means those who live in the forest simply to serve Krishna. So it's the forest of those people who are only serving Krishna. And then Vrinda Devi is known as Vrindavaneshwari, but she conferred that title for Radharani. So the Radharani became Vrindavaneshwari and she became this Vrinda Devi. Okay? So I don't know if I really answered the question, but I don't want to get into the details. It's just, that's how it happened. Okay, sure. Anyone else?
Any other question?
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Ashish here. Prabhuji, about Vrinda Devi again, is she the same Vrinda Devi that got married to Jalandhar?
Yes.
Then
So-
the story is completely different, right?
So basically, her expansion appeared in the material world as the daughter of a king, and she was asked to perform great austerities, tapasya and all that. And then Shivji recommended to her to marry this boy called Shankachud. And then Shankachud was so powerful and under the protection of Lord Shiva, so he became like a demon, was bothering everybody. And then all the demigods were being very harassed, and finally Suryadev decided to curse him and make things worse. And then Lord Shiva started fighting with Suryadev, and then he was convinced to not do that. And they all ran to Lord Vishnu, who came to fight, but he was told, you cannot kill Shankachud until he's got this kavach on his chest, and until his wife, who's so chaste, for whatever reason, gives up her chastity. So Lord Buddha, as a Brahmin, asked for the kavach in charity, and then he took the form of Shankachud and destroyed the chastity of Vrinda Devi. And she realized, she cursed her to become a stone, that's a Shaligram, and then he cursed her to become a plant, and she became Tulsi Maharani. So I mean, that's why I did not get into that story. It's all in the Puranas. It's very uncomfortable, so I don't like going there. But because you asked, I'm just giving you very, very small understanding of how that happened. So yes, same, but not the same.
But the Raja that you said, what's the name?
Shankachud.
What I had read was Jalandhar.
Yes, the same person.
Same person?
Same person.
Jalandhar is an incarnation, Asura incarnation of Lord Shiva.
Correct.
And Surya Dev is daughter of Vrinda is daughter of Surya Dev.
No,
Sister
no,
of Kama.
no,
Yama.
no,
Then I think
no, definitely not daughter of Surya.
that's when Vishnu actually killed Jalandhar.
So maybe there's another one. Yeah, I don't know. But not daughter of Surya. No.
I had a similar confusion what Prabhuji had as well. Like how can a sinful person being sinful throughout their life just having Tulsi Mala in their hand at the time of death will be So
Well, I mean,
explain that you mentioned that.
have you heard that you take Krishna's name once you go to Golok Vrindavan? Have you heard that?
I've heard a story about it, yes.
Well, so I'm just asking, so if that's possible, and have you heard the story of people who chant, they go back up and God regardless how sinful they were? Have you heard the story about the spiritual master accepting all your karma when they give initiation?
So that happens.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So this is transcendental, right? So yeah, I mean, these things are true. They're true. They're not made up stories. That's how it works. And let's face it. I mean, if that was not the way, then nobody will go to Golok Vrindavan because we are all such sinners, whether we accept that or not. Over so many lifetimes, we have so many horrible, horrible things, right? And all those karmas are still there.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure. But the holy name of the Lord is very, very powerful.
Prabhuji, I have a question. So,
I think there's a hand here also.
Oh.
Go ahead. Ask something.
It's just like when you said that Lakshmi ji and Tulsi Maharani are envious to each other. So if
No. See, Lakshmi ji is transcendently envious of Tulsi Maharani, but Tulsi Maharani never leaves the lotus feet of Krishna. So therefore, she's more dear to Krishna than Lakshmi Maharani. That's all. But it's transcendent. There's no fights going on here.
Okay.
Okay.
If we keep at home, then Lakshmi will
She's
not
not trying to
come.
pull the Tulsi Maharani out. She's not doing that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
No questions, but just one piece of information. After listening to your lecture, if people are interested in Tulsi Mala Kanti Mala, I think Mataji has a few at the counter.
Haribol! Great. That's anybody who knows that, please.
That's
Please get from the counter. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Any other question? So Prabhuji, I took some takeaways for this quickly. So I think first you started with manifestation of Yamuna Devi, Govardhan and Brinda Devi. I think that was very, very good knowledge. Then I think Puran Masi you said, right? That she controls the whole weather, the whole ecosystem, music, even the plants. My God, that was amazing. For each and every pastime.
Yes.
I don't know how it's possible. And then 2 spy parrots who keep an eye. And then Tulsi Viva you explained, then Radharani gets angry to give pleasure to Krishna. I think all Matajis will get an excuse now to get angry and they will say it's for you only. So it's,
Yes.
don't take that advantage. And I think the very big point was one Tulsi leaf is equal to or more than 56 bhogas. So that was, and lot of importance of Kanthi Mala, and I think Prabhuji mentioned Mataji has, so if anyone wants, probably outside there is a counter, please.
Sincerely encourage you to do that.
And then so many glories about Tulsi Maharani. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you for the amazing class. So we'll move on to our next program. Next we will offer ghee lamp and do Damodar Ashtakam, followed by closing kirtan. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Radharani is holding a cow, na? Because they get promoted from grazing calves to cows. That occasion is on Gopashti they get promoted. Okay, is there any confusion? Can I
going to offer Gillian first time? Yes, Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Anybody is going to offer Gillian today first time? Without ladies? Okay, so I need to sorry.
Hare Krishna. You can't. So just there is a, and we are asking you to offer the Gillian. You have to hear these are the details of Yasoda, who is binding Krishna specifically to them. 4 times at feet, 2 times at the belly, 3 times at the face, and 7 times whole body. 4, 2, 3, 7. If you have any confusion, you can ask some of kids also can help you because they like to remember numbers. So, and here they will ask you to come, let them line up, come in with the family and take individually one lamp. Please offer. But you can start to sing at least.
Namamishwaram Sachit Anandarupa Lasakundalam Gokule Brajamana
Namamishwaram Sachit Anandarupa
Namah Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, your attention please. Mahaprasadam ki jai. So we need 5 more minutes before we are going to serve prasadam. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes.